One of my biggest goals for this year is to make more art. So to help me do that, I've been trying out this new art habit for the last couple months. And I'm so happy to say it's working out really, really well. And it's just this tiny little tweak I've made to my morning routine that's made a huge difference in the entire rest of my day when it comes to art and focus and creativity. So let me show you. First thing in the morning, after I get up, I drink some water, grab my sketchbook, then go outside and sit in the sun. I don't look at my phone or my iPad at all after I get up. And this is really important. I just go right outside. I sit there for about 10 minutes and right away I start drawing. Even if I'm really groggy, which I usually am because I'm not a morning person. So this is a really great way to start the day, to just sit there without the distraction of devices, without all the noise of the internet clogging up my mind. There's something really pure and fresh about drawing first thing in the morning. I just doodle or sketch whatever comes to mind. I don't use references for these morning sessions, and I don't really want to draw what's right in front of me either. Instead, I prefer to just let my imagination run free and see what happens in that half-awake, sleepy state that I'm usually still in. I find that it's actually a pretty creative time, and it's fun to see what I come up with. I don't rush myself, so this drawing took about maybe 10 to 14 days of drawing it every morning for just 10 minutes at a time. I don't set any time limits, like I don't say, oh, I have to draw one drawing a day or fill this entire sketchbook in a week. No. I just do what I want without imposing that kind of external structure or expectation on it. So that means my drawing time in the mornings comes from within. And that's what makes it so powerful for me. It's my time. And lately, I've been drawing these cute little characters and having such a blast. And I can think of lots of ways I can use these sketches in the future by turning them into stickers or coloring pages or finished artworks. So one really cool thing I've noticed after doing this morning routine for a couple months is that even if I initially feel a resistance to drawing in the morning, I do it anyway. And literally, after a couple minutes, I am loving it. I get so in the flow that I'm concentrating without even trying. When I do these morning drawing sessions, I find that it helps to not have a ton of art supplies with me, because that would just overcomplicate things and suddenly I'd be thinking about which colors to use or which media, and that's just distracting, which is totally against my purpose here, which is that I want to be focused. I keep my morning art supplies in this little canvas pouch that I decorated a while ago with Poscas and Ranger stickles. Lately, I'm using a Blackwing pencil. I switch between these two, the Blackwing Pearl and Blackwing Matte. I like both of them. I also use a blending stump to smooth out my shading, and I can also use the residual graphite on it to do some light sketching or shading on its own. I also have a Tombow mono eraser, which I love because the eraser part is so small. I love to draw in a small sketchbook like this one, so having a small eraser is super handy. I also have in here a pencil sharpener and a white Posca for adding highlights, which I like to do on the eyes of my characters, and this little piece of paper for priming my Posca, and that's it. I've been having a lot of fun exploring graphite again lately. It's so different than all the colorful art I've been making for the past 20 years, and it just feels really great to do something different. It's liberating. And someday I might want to switch it up and use a ballpoint pen or a colored pencil or something when I'm out here. But for now, I'm really loving this grayscale graphite art. So the thing I've noticed, without a doubt, is that now that I start my day in an offline analog way, making art, I feel so much better throughout the entire rest of my day. I feel more centered and focused, and it's way easier to concentrate and do all the work tasks I need to do. And I feel like I'm more in touch with my artistic side, my creative side. When I start the day making art, then later in the day, it feels even easier to get into that creative zone. So basically, my morning routine is kind of like a super mini dopamine detox, which is a really trendy, buzzy term that's been around for a while now. I read these two books last year, and they both got me thinking about where I place my attention and how I spend my time, and how that affects me overall in terms of my well-being and energy and productivity. So not looking at my phone or the internet first thing in the morning has really made a huge difference. Just going outside and doing something creative offline in the real world, using my hands and engaging my mind, it feels more like I'm seizing the day, or at least setting it off on the right foot. The author Annie Dillard wrote that how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. And that's a really good quote that makes me want to be more intentional with my time and be more intentional with what I choose to pay attention to. One of the surprising knock-on effects that I've noticed of my new morning drawing routine is that later in the day, I'm actually way less interested in scrolling or browsing the internet than I used to be. It's way less of a distraction, and when I am online, it's easier to be more conscientious about what I'm actually doing when I'm online. And once you notice it, it's really interesting to observe how the internet can overstimulate you, bombarding you with all this stuff that's actually not that important when you step back and look at it from the bigger picture of your life and how you want to live it. So by detaching from the internet, I have way more time and bandwidth for making art. And it feels really good to be developing this healthy art habit because it's my way of getting in touch with myself and feeling centered. So if you want to make more art and be more focused, you can try what I've done and see if it works for you too. So don't look at your phone first thing in the morning, just get up, drink some water, and draw. And you don't have to sit outside like I do, you can certainly draw inside. The most important thing is to just draw. Before you pick up your phone or check your messages, just draw, even if it's just for 10 minutes. I know I'm so glad I tried it, and it might be good for you too. And one of the best things about this art habit is that you don't need fancy art supplies. Even a simple box of crayons can open up all kinds of creative possibilities. So if you want some inspiration and motivation for using cheap art supplies like these to explore your creativity, check out this video. See you there!